What up? Welcome to Deep Talk with Sony Blaze, where we get to have deep intellectual conversations with high-minded individuals right in the smoothest city in the world, Rochester, New York. I am your very knowledgeable host, Sony Blaze, and welcome to Deep Talk with Sony Blaze. Today, episodes on Deep Talk with Sony Blaze, we're having a deep convo about starting all over. How life is, what's the cause of our downfalls, and what can we learn from our mistakes? All up next on Deep Talk with Sony Blaze, right after these quick breaks.
Hey, what's up? Sony Blaze here at Bonga. First things first, let's meet Bonga. What up, Bonga? Let's go in. Bongalo is an African and Haitian restaurant in the market. Time for me to get a Bonga burger. I recommend it. It's locally owned and locally run by friends and family. Time to meet Mimi. Oh, she's busy. Anyway, come on down to Bungalows today.
Welcome back to Deep Talk with Sony Blaze, where we get to have deep intellectual conversations with high-minded individuals right in the smoothest city in the world, Rochester, New York. I am your very knowledgeable host, Sony Blaze, and welcome to Deep Talk with Sony Blaze. I am back on this. I'm not going to lie, this actually feels really good and whatsoever. And you know what? This is actually very appropriate of what I'm actually doing. And actually, I do apologize. Let me go ahead and put, my phone on silent. But anyways, if you do not know me, let me go ahead and put this on silent right quick. Now, if you do not know me, once again, my name is Sony Blaze. I live in the Rochester, New York area, and I've been here for like a good about like maybe 15, 17 years, a little more. A little more, a little less, and whatsoever. But, anyways, I'm. Oh boy, yeah, got that chalet. What? Huh? Oh, what up? I'm Sony Blaze, and welcome to my corner of the universe. And also, I do apologize I didn't see you there for the first time. But anyways, if you have some digital loads and need some digital help, let SBC Digital Services help you with your digital needs. We sit there and work with anybody and with regional prices. If you need digital service as in graphic design, web design, video editing, let SBC Digital Services help you out with your digital need. But anyways, thank you for joining my corner in the universe. Peace. I'm about to go back onto this video editing. Oh boy, this shit is. Welcome back to Deep Talk with Sony Blaze, where we get to have deep intellectual conversations with high-minded individuals right in the smooth city in the world, Rochester, New York. I am your very knowledgeable host, Sony Blaze, and welcome to Deep Talk with Sony Blaze. Now, since we're freshly getting back into it, I do not have a guest, so let me reintroduce myself. My name is Sony Blaze. That's my stage name, and my actual name is Stanley S. Joseph. You could probably guess what the S is for. And I was born in Miami, Florida. Grew up in Winter Haven and raised and grew up in Winter Haven and mainly matured in Rochester, New York. And I'm still maturing because, a lot of issues still be happening whatsoever. And, and if also a certain individual is watching, I do apologize. It's just... yeah, I'm still maturing. And, so, anyways, to get back into it, to a bit of me, a little bit more of me. I've been doing podcasts and content creation for at least 12 to 15 years as well too. It started with YouTube and me
trying to actually get onto the YouTube thing when, YouTubers was the actually big thing that was out there. I had did like podcasting over there. The only difference between now and then, there's more of a structure of what I am doing now in Deep Talk versus what I was doing back in the past. I was just sitting there just randomly talking and whatsoever. Then I had jumped into Facebook, tried, Facebook broadcasting whatsoever, and I did a few other things, and then eventually I met a few individuals, and I went into excuse me for the uns. I went and join the mainradio.com. Hopefully mainradio.com will actually come back on my next come back to the main radio and put my show on there, because that's where Deep Talk with Sony Blaze came from, and that's how we are here today. And amongst that, I sat there and I learned a lot of things from individuals as well as myself, and how to actually really structure a show. Because that's the one thing I did learn, is how to really truly structure a show, and what to put into it, and how and what to do when it's time. And also I learned a lot about when you having a guest as well too, especially a celebrity guest. This is just like, it takes a lot of you. And now I'm at the point that I want to actually start all over again, hence the name, starting all over again with Deep Talk with Sony Blaze, and a lot of avenues that I was in, like broadcasting gameplay, because I do Twitch broadcasting and Twitch gameplays, and actually I can't really see it, especially if you're listening to it. You definitely can't see it. I mean, you can use your imagination. So I broadcast off Twitch if you want to join me on Twitch. So eventually I'm going to transition from Sony Blaze 333 for the gameplays into Sony Blaze Corner Live, and start to do the gameplays, and I'll probably just use Sony Blaze 333 as something personal. And I'm actually just broadcast or put Deep Talk with Sony Blaze on there. We'll see eventually. But anyway, that's about it. And mainly what my goal is to actually bring back Deep Talk with Sony Blaze and really have these deep intellectual conversation that really feed the mind, and also be able to pick people's brains and people pick my brain. That's all I just want to do. So anyways, that's about it, and we'll be right back after this break in Deep Talk with Sony Blaze.
Oh boy, yeah, got that. Chalet. What? Huh? Oh, what up? I'm Sony Blaze, and welcome to my corner of the universe. And also, I do apologize I didn't see you there for the first time. But anyways, if you have some digital loads and need some digital help, let SBC Digital Services help you with your digital needs. We sit there and work with anybody and with regional prices. If you need digital service as in graphic design, web design, video editing, let SBC Digital Services help you out with your digital need. But anyways, thank you for joining my corner in the universe. Peace. I'm about to go back onto this video editing. Oh boy, this shit is...
Welcome back to Deep Talk with Sony Blaze, where we get to have deep intellectual conversations with high-minded individuals right in the smoothest city in the world, Rochester, New York. I am your very knowledgeable host, Sony Blaze, and welcome back to Deep Talk with Sony Blaze. Yeah, it's a very hot day today in Rochester, New York, and it's it's a hot day. So, anyways, let's get straight into the convo. Let's get straight into the conversation, though, man. Straight up life. And also, I do apologize if I do hear the music in the background. Like I said, this is just that's like I said before, I have Twitch going on in the background as well too. I had to put the volume down, but the thing is, life is not static. It's not a picture. It's not static. It doesn't stays in one place. Life is dynamic. There's going to be ups and there's going to be downs. No matter what. I don't care who you are. You could be just a regular guy in the street, a regular 9-to-5 guy, blue collar guy. You can be the president of the United States of America. You could be the king of the world. Doesn't matter. Life is not static. Straight up, life is not static, man. You're gonna go through a roller coaster of things when you're in this ride called life. I know for a fact because I've been going through some ups and downs. A lot of it been downs, but then there are some ups, and it gets tough. So it does get tough, and the thing is, you have to learn how to ride your own your own life, I should say, because like I said before, life is not static, it's dynamic, and you're going to go through a lot of things, and it's whether or not what you're going to get out of those times is how you will get those results. And a lot of times things will get bad and fall apart. And when things get bad and fall apart, it's okay to start all over. That's what I'm doing right now, as we speak right now. And also, you could say recently I just had like a friendship. And it was my fault. Like basically, it's my fault. And it went bad and fell apart. And now we're gonna have to start all over again. And then that's the thing. A lot of times we end up doing things because I'm gonna go back to the analogy of the roller coaster with our lives when we go up and down. So like when things get good, we usually don't pay attention to a lot of things because we're up there, we're having fun, we're our hands up like, oh, we're enjoying the ride because it's a high, we're dealing with the highs. But then once those lows dips in, because you gotta think about it. Let's really think about it with the analogy of a roller coaster and how roller coasters are. So, see, the thing is, when you're on the roller coaster, you sit there and you're on the cart, and let's think about how the ups are. So when you go up, you slowly build your way up. Just think about it. That's how life is. It slowly builds up, and you'll sit there enjoying it. But then while at the same time you're sitting there enjoying it, you start to notice like, wow, we are getting high right now. We are really high until you get towards that peak. Once you see that peak, you start to notice things. You be like, oh shit, I'm this high. And then you look down and you see the descent. And that's the thing. We actually see our descent. Right before we get to the peak, we see that descent. And we like, oh shit, that's far down. Now, once you get towards that peak in life, you got two choices. The two choices is to just get scared and not be prepared, and just once that plunge takes, all hell break loose. Or you prepare yourself, be like, okay, I know I'm about to go. I know things are about to go down, and I know things are about to get bad. So let me prepare myself, and you can sit there and prepare yourself and descent down, because even though you're that high, you're going to go down. What comes up must comes down. And once it gets towards that part when things fall apart, I mean, because things can and will get bad, and things can and will fall apart. That's when you have to sit there, pick up the pieces, and start all over again. And you probably sitting there thinking to yourself, are there's any ways to not be affected by the ebbs and flows of life? Well, the short answer is no, not really. There isn't really no way not to be affected by the ebbs and flows of life. But what you can do is to learn how to go with it, because it's that's how life is. That's how the universe is built. That's how things are created, with of the crashing and the building, and that's how life flows. And yes, I am sweating right now. If you actually see me in the broadcast, yes, I am sweating right now. Anyways, to get back to it, and there's not really too much ways to actually flow, or no, I say flow. There's not too much ways to really mitigate the effects that happens when it comes to life. And the thing is, how can you learn? How can you build? How can you evolve if you don't go through those ebbs and flows of things, of life and whatsoever? I mean, it happens. It happens. So, anyways, we be right back after these breaks on Deep Talk with Sony Blaze.
Hey, what's up? Sony Blaze here at Bongalo. First things first, let's meet Bonga. What up, Bonga? Let's go in. Bongalo is an African and Haitian restaurant in Market. Time for me to get a Bonga burger. I recommend it. It's locally owned and locally run by crazy people. Time to meet Mimi. Oh, she's busy. Anyway, come on down to Bungalows today.
All right. Ooh. Oh boy, I'm sweating. Okay. Alright. Welcome back to Deep Talk with Sony Blaze, where we get to have deep intellectual conversations with high-minded individuals right in the smoothest city in the world, Rochester, New York. I am your very knowledgeable host, Sony Blaze, and welcome back to Deep Talk with Sony Blaze. And today, discussing a Deep Talk with Sony Blaze, we're talking about starting all over in life, basically. Just, starting all over when life gets bad. And, in life is very dynamic. And that's the thing. Life is very dynamic. So, what may cause our downfalls and have to restart? What may actually really cause our downfalls? Well, I will say at least 90% of it has to do with us. Has to do with ourselves. At least 90%. Maybe 85, maybe 80, but I will say a good 90% is mainly our fault. Whether is we don't pay attention to certain situations or individuals, or our particular behaviors, and many things could easily happen. Reason why things fall apart and the downfall of our lives and whatsoever, and that we have to restart. It could be many things, but a good majority of it is our fault. And if it's your fault, I mean, the best thing you can actually really do is to actually pick up the pieces and evaluate and reflect on what you have done. And then once you do that, give yourself some time and then get right back on it. It's just like riding a bike. You fall off. After you fall off, you're going to hurt. You may scrape a knee. You may get some cuts and bleeds. But then after that, you pick yourself right back up, jump on the bike, and ride off again. And that's why that's what it is. That's how it is in life and with all that stuff. And we do have to go ahead and just learn how to stand back up and restart when we do fall when we do fall down, when we do have that downfall, because regardless of who you are, there's going to be that point that things is going to fall. And when things fall, you're going to have to find a way to actually pick yourself back up. Now, starting all over do not have to be a very bad experience or a bad experience at all. It don't have to be. Starting all over can be actually a great starting point for you to have a better life. It could be a great learning lesson for you. But starting over is not a very bad experience. It's not a bad experience. It could be something great that can actually take you off to even higher heights. Because let's go back to the analogy of we was getting into with the roller coaster and with the ups and downs. See, the thing is, think about like when you go all the way up and it's time to descend. Think about like with the speed of the descent, like, even those things will fall down fast. Well, think about, when you're going down fast, you're going to go right back up even faster. Just like that. You sit there, instead of the amount of time that the first time it took to get up that point, the next time when you get right back up, it's going to go right back even faster and even stronger. Now, in the same, and you may be able to go up even higher. Now, at the same vein, once you go higher, it's going to be even a further downward. But I'm not here to try to scare you about that, or try to derail you, or push you away from that. It's more of just to get you prepared, that to let you know that what comes up must come down. And when you starting all over, you are not starting from square one, but with knowledge. I just want you to really think about that. Like, when you're starting all over, you're not starting from square one. You're not starting from where you was before. You starting over. Yes, you're starting all over with a somewhat of a fresh start, but we're gonna think of it as a RPG. Because if you don't know what a RPG game, if you don't know what's a RPG game, is a role playing game, and a lot of, well, you can say the old school games, there is once you beat the game, there is a system that once you beat the game, you can do the game all over again, but this time with the experience and the items that you have. So when you start all over, remember, you're not starting from square one. You have the knowledge, you have the skills, you may even have the help to get you towards a higher point, to get you to go faster to where you want to get at. You're not starting all over again. You got the knowledge, you got the equipment, you got the items, or right now the word that I'm trying to get, I cannot get it. I don't have it within my hand, but mainly what I'm just trying to say is you have this stuff ready within you to actually make this experience a lot better. So when you're starting all over, you're not starting from square one. You're starting with a lot more within you. You basically on the plus game right now. You're on the plus game, and that's all right. That's great. That's good. Ugh. And as for Deep Talk with Sony Blaze, this is a great example, because right now I'm starting from square one. I'm in my room, and also, if you've seen the background, you like, what the fuck is going on in there? Don't pay attention to that. So I'm starting from square one, and we're going to get towards a better stage. We're going to get better guests, and it's up for now, because I went down at times, but now we're going right up. Yeah. And why I got my arms up like this, I do not know. But anyways, we'll be right back after these breaks of Deep Talk with Sony Blaze.
Oh boy, yeah, got that chalet. What? Huh? Oh, what up? I'm Sony Blaze, and welcome to my corner of the universe. And also, I do apologize I didn't see you there for the first time. But anyways, if you have some digital loads and need some digital help, let SBC Digital Services help you with your digital needs. We sit there and work with anybody and with regional prices. If you need digital service as in graphic design, web design, video editing, let SBC Digital Services help you out with your digital need. But anyways, thank you for joining my corner in the universe. Peace. I'm about to go back onto this video editing. Oh boy, this shit is...
Welcome to Deep Talk with Sony Blaze, where we get to have deep intellectual conversations with high-minded individuals right in the smoothest city in the world, Rochester, New York. I am your very knowledgeable host, Sony Blaze, and welcome back to Deep Talk with Sony Blaze. Now, if you're just joining in earlier, you can actually come back to Deep Talk with Sony Blaze. We'll post up the places that you can actually listen to this episode Deep Talk with Sony Blaze. But to get back to it, what looks like, we're gonna say this is what season 5 of it, or I'm gonna figure it out. But anyways, so if you're just joining us, we went through talk about how life is not static, it's dynamic, there's ups and downs, what may cause the downfall, when life fall apart, we just got to start all over, and you're not starting from just square one. You're not starting from square one up. And anyways, to continue on the conversation, is there anything we can do to help us when we do crash out, when things fall apart? Yes and no. Well, actually, yes, yeah. Not the no part, but yes. There is there is things that we can actually do. Like, now, when you first fall down, you most likely you're gonna probably fall hard because that's the first time you're falling. It's just like with riding a bike. When you fall down, it's unexpected. You can hurt, you cry, you probably don't even want to get jumped back on the bike and whatsoever. But then once you learn your lesson, you learn to actually how to conduct yourself, how to fall off the bike. The same thing when it comes to life and starting all over. Once you actually begin to crash down, you learn how to, cover yourself. You learn how to be able to take the impact and be like, okay, this is what we have to do. So when it's time to fall and hit the ground, we have to sit there and learn how to, catch ourselves, learn how to fall. And there's are many ways to actually learn how to fall, how to take the impact when you do fall. And I'm not talking about, bikes anymore. I'm talking about in life. And the main thing is first of all, to know that once it's in the process, just know that you're going to live through it. You're going to live through it, and you're going to get back up. Second, just have a positive outlook onto it. Just because, like I said before, because you're going to crash and burn. So when you crash and burn, be like, oh, shit, that's what happened. What did I did to actually have that happen? And just prepare. And also have things like in the background to help you out. Be like, okay, so this is this, that to help me out whenever this happens. Like, have like a package, like when things get bad package, things of, maybe some money that you saved up, maybe some tools, people, friends that help you out. So when that do happens, that you are well prepared. Now, after all that, we can learn from the mistakes that we have done, so we can go ahead and have a faster start. Because when it comes down to it, if you do not actually pick up and learn from the mistakes that you that you have done, you're not going to really go any higher. And then if you fall down again, it's probably going to hurt even more. So for me saying that is, you can learn from the mistakes that you have done, so next time when it happens, you won't fall down the same way, or maybe you find a way to catch yourself before you fall and actually land. Ooh, that might be a next episode, is how to land after you fall, man. But anyways, that's when it comes down to it. So anyways, that's about it for Deep Talk with Sony Blaze. We're going to have we're going to have very longer episodes, but this is just the start of Deep Talk with Sony Blaze, and this is my start of starting things all over again. So to get straight to and cover what we was talking about, mainly we was having a deep convo about how life is not a picture. There's movement. It's like a movie. It's not static. There are ups and downs. When things and the thing is, things will get bad and things will fall apart, but all we have to do is just start all over. And there is no way to really not get affected by the ebbs and flows of life. You just have to ride the ride. And there are many causes for our downfalls, but we can always restart. And starting over doesn't have to be a bad experience. It could be very great. And you're not starting from square one. You're starting with knowledge. Now, anyways, thank you for joining my corner of the universe. And if you're falling off, hopefully this episode helps you out. Thank you for joining my corner of the universe. Peace. Oh yeah, very, very, very good.